Hi.
Look at my lovely new trainers.
And?
My new man's bought them for me. I've picked up a new guy from the running club. He's just the right guy for me.
No way.
He's into his health, his CrossFit, and he understands me. You know what? He's kind and he's responsive. He's a hotshot businessman. He handles a lot of responsibility, and he's really exciting to be with.
Wow. So you decided about this man based on his positive traits.
Of course.
Like he's kind and understanding, and you say he's your type because you like that he's focused on health and fitness and that he's driven and energetic.
Yes, that's right. And you know what, Debs? For the first time, it feels like this is the one. He fits the bill.
The bill?
Yeah.
Fits the bill?
Yeah.
So you think you are free to love just anyone so long as he fits your bill?
Of course, I'm excited.
Riz, listen. Right, just listen to me. You might think you're free to love whoever you want to love, but in fact your choice comes from aspects of yourself that you can't even see.
What? What are you talking about, Debs? Don't spoil it for me. I think you're jealous.
Riz, what I'm trying to say is you think you're looking for someone who is loving and caring, which I'm sure he is.
He is.
Yeah? But instead you're looking for someone who is familiar.
Familiar? What do you mean, Debs?
Riz, you must understand, yeah? As humans, we tend to have very strong psychological types. And we attract our partners from the psychological and unconscious place.
Okay.
We base our choices on the way our parents related to each other and the way they related to us.
Really?
We learned about love in our childhood because our parents gave us the template of what love is. I'm sorry, Riz, but as much as our parents love us, they tend to be trouble for us too.
True.
These early experiences can cause a disaster in our love matches.
So, what you're saying, Debs, is that however much my parents love me, for good or ill, they messed up?
Yes, Riz. Think about your relationship with your parents.
Okay.
Yeah? And consider your feelings when you're with the man that you choose.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
What familiar responses do you have when you're with your partner that are similar to the responses when you relate to your mum and dad?
So, are you saying that if my dad was absent, distant, or even abusive when I was younger, or that my mum was critical or controlling, despite these being horrible experiences, I tend to find this when I look for love?
Yes, and familiar responses can be a range of traits, such as loving people who are cleverer than us,
Okay.
more responsible than us, okay, or even critical, self-centered, or just really unreliable.
But why would I ever want to repeat that when it's so painful and destructive?
I know, Riz. We repeat this because essentially no matter how difficult our parent relationships were, it was still a love relationship, yeah? And there would have been positive and tender experiences too.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah. What we look for in our partners is a feeling that is familiar. But I know, Riz, it doesn't make any sense that we would do that.
No, it doesn't. And in that case, are you saying I could miss out on meeting a man that could be good for me?
Yes, that's right. We may end up unable to notice the types of people that are good for us. We might regard the good ones as dull, boring, or too reliable, and therefore head straight towards the people with characteristics that make the relationship difficult and painfully familiar in the end.
In the end? But it feels so good right now, Debs.
It sure does.
It really is hard knowing how to navigate my love radar. And would you say that if I don't work out what's driving my choices, I'll carry on choosing problematic partners and I could miss out on attracting men who are potentially good for me?
Yes, think how you suffered from your early caregivers. Do you find that you fancy people that create the same uncomfortable feeling in you?
No.
Look, Riz, you said this new guy that you've just met is some hotshot businessman.
Yes.
Well, think about it, Riz.
I am.
Is he likely to spend more time working than being with you? Is he likely to avoid making plans or even break plans because work dictates?
That's happened a few times.
There we are. Could this pattern of behaviour be just like your dad's? Never at home, always working. And did that make you feel let down and unimportant?
It has, you know.
Yes.
Gosh, Debs, you know what? You're right. I didn't think of that.
Riz, there's more to this.
More?
We've got to think of more, yes. You also need to investigate if you've adapted any negative traits from parental relationships in childhood and now inflict that injury onto your partner.
So, if I want to avoid experiencing a familiar emotional injury, as you call it, are you saying I could inflict it on my partner as a way to protect myself?
Yes.
Let me think about that. I suppose, Debs, I am aware that I have a tendency to be a bit bossy if I don't get my own way. And I also have very good peripheral vision. I can become cold and uncaring. And as I think about that now, actually, the only way not to be bossed about is to be the bossy one. So in some weird way, you know, that protects me from feeling bullied. And that can feel quite safe. I feel quite guilty now about that. When I think about it, I don't like that I have that capability to humiliate my partner or even you, but I'm understanding it now. It's because I've been bullied and humiliated when I was just so little.
Oh, you see this?
I'm sorry, Debs.
Oh, I know. But that's great insight. You know, it's really painful to recognise that in yourself, and it's really well worth knowing.
Yes, it is painful, Debs, but you know, thankfully, I have a very good self-reflexive functioning.
Look, moving on, Riz, there's even more.
What? More?
Yes, there's more to consider. Look, do you remember that other guy I liked for you?
Oh, yes. Jeremy.
That's right, Jeremy. But you didn't like him, and so you rejected him when he asked you out. Because you've seen him get angry at people, and there is no way you would consider somebody who you think you might blow up in a rage.
You did that a couple of times.
Yeah. I think the expression of anger frightens you, Riz. So avoid people with this trait.
I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Well, I suppose so, Debs. That could be why that I come across a bit passive-aggressive. Listen, I haven't learned to be angry appropriately. It was never managed for me.
No. Oh, Riz, come on, look. Because you were so keen to get away from the trouble our parents caused us, we developed defences around the different ways of relating. And if we're not careful to recognise these, we might actually miss out on their positive qualities. For instance, your dad, although he was angry, he also had a really good sense of humour.
Yeah, he did actually.
Yeah? And that's reinforced your ambivalence in making a bond with a person whom really could provide you with a lot of fun.
That is true, you know. I've let down a few guys with that. And that is interesting. I mean, would you say, can this kind of thing happen with mothers?
Yeah, of course it can. As with any other significant relationship. You know, these can be grandparents, siblings, and even our teachers. You know, it's not gender specific.
And that's really interesting, you know, Debs. I'm going to go away and explore how I might bring aspects of my own mother into my current relationship.
Yeah, well, good luck with that one, Riz.
It's going to be tough. But I'm going to take all these insights that you've helped me with today, Debs, to my own therapy, because my childhood has taught me how to love, and that may not necessarily be a very healthy way. And I want to free myself from these early traumas so that I have a better chance at meeting someone who is fundamentally good for me, however challenging and unfamiliar that could feel.
Yes, Riz, having a clearer sense of self will allow you to love others more freely without contaminating the relationship with your past hurts.
True.
And I want to finish with one final statement. And I want you to consider this when you meet someone.
Okay.
Yeah? We emerge in good relationships, but we merge in troubled ones. Learn to understand the difference.